Welcome to Gameday Talk. I got my man Frank Sides to my right. I'm Morgan Smith. Thank you for joining with us. Man, last night was a great night of basketball. Local basketball. Girls were playing first rounds Monday and Tuesday. Last night we got to go to the Pleasant Grove at Liberty ILO, and it was as advertised. Yes, it was a really good time.
Yeah, it was the first time I had a chance to see Devondrick Henry in person, and he delivered.
I told you, man, you talk about a hooper. It's going to be exciting to see where he goes. And just, he's a junior now. And the way he's going to progress next year, he's just going to be so dirty.
Mm-hmm. He looked borderline unstoppable last night when he wanted to be.
Yeah, Liberty ILO came away with the W. They're going to take the 2 seed in that district. Liberty ILO won 70-58. Give us a couple of scoring leaders from Liberty ILO.
It was pretty well-rounded last night. Javon Hunter had 16. Taquan Hampton had 17. Got there because he couldn't miss from the three-point line.
Yeah, he hit 5 3-pointers.
Yes, he did. Rakeem Harris had 16, and Kentrell Akins had 13.
Man, Javon Hunter, I believe it was senior night. I was really impressed with his game last night. Didn't miss a lot of free throws. If he missed any, I can't even remember. He was really nice from the free throw line. Had a ton of putbacks. I mean, just played a great basketball game.
Yeah, his length inside last night was a problem.
On the other side, Devondrick Henry had 22. Brett Carmody got hot from behind the three-point line.
Yes, he did. He's a shooter. He's never seen a three-pointer he didn't like.
I like it. Hey, you were talking earlier about it. Looks like he put some English on some side spin on the shots.
Side spin. Also looks like he just heads the gym in the dark and just shoots.
Landon Jackson had a huge putback dunk last night, though. It looked like his brother might have drew that up. I'm gonna miss it off the other side of the glass so you can punch it.
Yeah, that'll be on the top 5 this week.
Yeah, but it was a great game. A lot of fun being out there. It's a great rivalry, clean rivalry. Liberty ILO is going to take the 2 seed in the district. Pleasant Grove will take the 3 seed, and we'll be updating you later on in the week and when and where those teams are going to play. Atlanta traveled over to New Boston, and guess who? Damian Collins had a huge night.
Uh-oh, how huge?
Well, he almost had a quadruple double. He finished the night with 13 points, 11 rebounds, 14 blocks. 14 blocks.
How is that even? At some point, you just stop driving inside and trying to shoot.
I have a feeling he had 6 assists as well. I had a feel his brother plays for New Boston, Jamian Collins, and he's like 6'8", probably has 100 pounds on Damian, but I have a feeling they were going toe-to-toe last night.
Oh, yeah, I can only imagine what those games were like when they were younger, head-to-head.
But Atlanta won 71-45. Keyshawn Easter had 17. Hunter Allen, the senior, great baseball prospect, by the way, had 15 points. J.J. Fields and Cam put up 11 apiece. They're going to be playing their bi-district game versus Paris Chisholm Tuesday in Pittsburgh, 6 p.m.
Are we going to be there for that?
I don't know. We'll have to see. We're waiting on some stuff with the UIL, but possibly we could be in the house for that. Either way, we're going to have a camera there.
Okay.
Because we don't want to miss the show, that's for sure. DCAB went all the way over to Paul Pewitt last night out there in Omaha, and I don't have player stats, but I have a feeling my man AJ and Timo went off last night, 74-38.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah. Texas High won over Royce City. Big, 64-51. CJ Kelly, the guy I'm talking about, he's a great basketball player at 21. Coach Skinner says he's one of the best players he's ever coached. Texas High came away with that W. Arkansas High played Lakeside. In Lakeside, came away with a huge win, 64-33. Hooks was over in Redwater this week. Looks like Benji Johnson probably went hard. Hooks won 66-56 over Redwater. Looks like Hooks will be getting in the playoffs. Falk versus Genoa, one of the oldest rivalries in Arkansas, if not the oldest rivalry. Genoa came away with that one, 53-43. Shout out on a big win to Genoa Central. Let's move over to some girls basketball real quick.
Okay.
Lady Tigers played Lufkin last night. I don't believe they won. I think they lost 53-48, I believe. Lady Hawks played Monday. They won big over Kilgore, 62-35. They're going to play Van next game.
Okay.
What do you know about the Van team?
Not much. I haven't seen them in person.
Their record looks pretty good, but this Pleasant Grove girls team almost just looks unbeatable.
Yeah, from what I hear, that's going to be a tough one for Van.
Yeah. Arkansas High traveled to Lakeside. Arkansas High Lady Razorbacks, and they did not come away victorious in that one. But I tell you who did come away victorious last night, and you talk about overcoming adversity. The Liberty ILO Lady Leopards, all right, were up late in that game. Chapel Hill came back to tie it, go into overtime. Lady Leopards have 3 starters fouled out. They're down 5 points in overtime and come back and win by 5, 69-64.
That's crazy.
take by
I
district.
remember getting a score update with about a minute left and thought, all right, the Lady Leopards have this in the bag. Next
Yeah.
thing I know, they're in overtime.
That's what
Pretty
I kept thinking.
amazing,
I mean, it was just they were up by 1, up by 1, up by 5, up by 6, and then you saw overtime, and that was right about the time the boys' game ended. And to see kind of what the coach was talking about on Facebook last night, I mean, 3 starters out in overtime, down 5, and still come away victorious.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean that's having a deep bench and a lot of players that believe. Let's switch it over to some national stuff.
Okay, yes,
What are
I'm
you
ready.
thinking about?
Boxing.
Oh, you know I love boxing.
Yeah. So this weekend, Wilder versus Fury 2. We know how the first fight went. A bit controversial. A lot of
It wasn't
folks thought
controversial.
that
Get
Fury
out of
may
here.
have won the fight. And if you look at the judges' scorecard, all
Tyson
three judges,
Fury's lucky he didn't walk away from that ring without brain damage.
Yeah, all 3 judges appeared to watch a completely different fight, right? It was very strange to me. So what do you think is going to happen this weekend?
Like I've been saying, Tyson Fury is a far superior boxer than Deontay Wilder. But I don't think Deontay Wilder steps into the ring with people and he's the better boxer, probably rarely ever. That's another reason I think Anthony Joshua will not fight him, because right now Deontay Wilder is the most dangerous man on the planet with boxing gloves on. And make no mistake about it, Fury is hitting the canvas multiple times, and Fury's going to get up. I mean, we can't call him not tough.
Yeah,
the guy you talk about going
the
through
dude can
adversity.
he can take a punch. There's no doubts.
So he's going to get up. This might go the distance, but I mean, you just can't get knocked down 2 or 3 times to win a fight.
Yeah, for some reason, I think Fury knocks him out. He went the whole fight last.
You got to be kidding me.
I'm serious.
Deontay Wilder's never been knocked down.
With the whole
in a
fight, with the whole fight
He's gonna
last
get knocked
time,
out?
avoided the right hand all fight except
Oh
for
my
once.
gosh.
And I have a feeling not only is he going to outclass him and outbox him, he's in much better shape. I think he wins via knockout.
Did you just say Tyson Fury's in better shape than Deontay Wilder?
Better shape than he was last
Okay,
fight.
all right.
Yeah.
I was about to say.
Yeah, he's
That
ready.
might
for
be the
this.
dumbest
I'm
statement I've
telling you,
ever heard.
I think he's going to knock him out.
You think he's going to knock? I mean,
I
that's
really do.
he's just not. He's going to. Let me tell you how this fight's going to go. Fury's going to jab, 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 jab. He's going to take big licks, and around middle of this fight, all Fury can hope for is Wilder gets careless because he's frustrated. But he's going to take big shots during this fight.
Well,
And
that's the thing. It's not going to be hope. He's going to get frustrated.
Well-
and he's going to get loose, and he's going to drop the right hand. I think Fury
I
catches
don't
him.
think Fury has the speed to catch.
I don't
Wilder.
think it's a one-hit knockout. I think it's gonna compound over the fight, and
I don't know, man.
I just think he abuses him.
Deontay Wilder is so quick, so fast. I mean, it's just Fury is a superior boxer, but Deontay Wilder probably every time he steps into the ring, he's not the better boxer.
Yeah.
So I'm going Wilder on this. You're not going to tell me different, but I guess I wouldn't be surprised if Fury won, but it's going to be on scorecards.
All right.
He's not getting
Bookmark
knocked
this.
out. He's never been knocked out or knocked
Bookmark
down.
this. Fury knocks him out in the 9th.
Okay. All right. Well, you're paying for my lunch next week when he doesn't. What do you think about the NBA All-Star Game format?
Loved it. For the first time in my entire life, I was able to sit through the fourth quarter of an NBA All-Star game.
The world's best pickup game.
Yeah, exactly. These guys were locking each other down on defense. They cared. I've never seen anything like it. It was awesome.
I'm glad the NBA it seems like they always they're open to change.
Yeah.
That's what I like about it. The NFL is not open to change. I mean, it's just everything takes forever. I like how NBA can just make decisions on the fly, and this was the right decision for the fans.
Yeah, they've always been the most progressive of the 4 major sports.
I mean, it's really a player-ran league, and that's what I like most about it. There are owners, but I can't tell you, outside of like a Mark Cuban and maybe the Lakers, I can't tell you hardly any NBA owners, but I can tell you almost every NFL owner.
Exactly, yes.
So anyway, shout out to the NBA on that. I am looking forward to the next All-Star game with the new format.
Yeah,
it actually promotes them to play.
They've already started the conversation about moving that format over to the actual regular season to handle overtime.
I'd like to see that play to 24.
Yeah, well, it probably wouldn't be 24, closer to 15 or something.
Yeah.
Just, we don't want to run the games 3 hours, right? So,
Well,
either way, yeah, I think it'll work out.
I'll tell you something. The NBA is starting out. I've been paying a lot of really close attention to it. They're looking at going to. It's hard to sit and watch an entire professional sporting event on TV without switching. What they're possibly looking at switching to with 5G rolling out is you get updates. If there's a close game with 2.5 minutes left to go, you get that update and you can immediately switch to just that game. And it'll be like a paid subscription service, but it'll be a game changer on just your time.
Yeah,
and nobody wants to watch a blowout.
They're also on the forefront with the gambling aspect. It's a bigger deal than most people think. They are actually in talks trying to figure out a way to have every seat in the arena have access to live betting. Hey, who's going to lead this quarter in scoring? Who's the next basket, right? To keep you engaged. They do that in Europe with soccer. NBA's open to everything.
I like that. Keep you engaged.
I like it too. I'm not going to go and bring
I'll tell you
my wallet.
who's not engaged right now is Astros fans.
No.
They
They're
don't
on a
want
rough
to turn
go
on
at
the
it.
TV or nothing right now.
No, heavens
Tell me
no.
what happened. You know, I'm not a huge baseball
Yeah,
fan.
so people have been stealing since day one. That's kind of the whole goal. You want to know what's coming. Your job's a lot easier as a batter. But what they did was they installed televisions beneath the dugouts and had a live feed running to that television. So whenever the pitcher, who in most cases are 2 or 3 pitchers, throwing something that they were able to recognize, they would bang a trash can right before the pitch. So the batter instantly knew that this is not a fastball. And if you know what's coming, I could probably hit 315 in Major League if I knew what pitch was coming, right? It just takes you some time to time it. It's not difficult to do. So for a couple seasons, and looks like even into the playoffs one year when they won the World Series, they knew what pitch was coming 35 to 40% of the time, and they basically stole a championship. So
in your opinion, did it affect the outcome of the World Series?
Of course. How could it not, right? So the commissioner gave the players immunity for multiple reasons, right? He needed to know exactly what happened, and they're not going to rat themselves out, right? So they got immunity. They were not punished at all. I mean, the coach lost his job, or the general manager lost his job. They were fined a ton of money. They lost a couple draft picks. In reality, that doesn't really do anything to keep them from wanting to do it again. So now there's an outcry from players, former players from other sports, from LeBron. Basically dumping on the commissioner, saying, "Hey, you didn't do enough. You can't let them steal a championship."
I think LeBron's comments, not quoted, but something along the lines of, "If I knew I played against a team that cheated me out of a championship, I wouldn't stand for it." But he's like, Major League Baseball is, they need to do what's right.
Yeah, and that's the thing. There's really no equivalent to other sports.
Yeah.
I mean, knowing what pitch is coming in baseball is a far more advantageous than any other way to cheat in any other
I guess
sport.
if you knew what route the receiver was running.
Yeah, I guess if you had somebody in the huddle, right, for a football, it'd be the equivalent, right?
Yeah.
You knew what play was coming. You'd be able to stop it every single time.
Speaking of that, you've been watching the XFL?
Some of it, yeah.
They're literally live in the huddle. I saw a coach to run like a dive play, and they're coming over. They have him on the Jumbotron with it streaming. Run it again. Goes out through the entire stadium. It's like, the access is awesome. As we're getting more into media stuff, I love the access the XFL is giving. But you talk about being able to get a competitive advantage. They're mic'd up and everything.
Yeah, I would have thought it would have been some sort of delay, kind of like the World Series of Poker when they broadcast that live. You can't know what a guy's got in his hand, right? So
I don't know. They probably are on a delay, but I don't think in the stadium they would be.
No.
Yeah,
that's something I'd like the NFL to adopt. That's fun. Interviewing the players on the sideline.
The players, it's like that they feel like they already give too much access.
Yeah.
There's literally cameras in the locker rooms at this point. So we'll see what happens with that. But what do you think's going to happen with Dak? Is he getting signed or franchise tag?
It looks like the franchise tag's probably the best course of action at the moment.
I know if Teddy Bridgewater actually does get $30 million like the experts are saying he's owed, I don't know what Dallas is going to do.
Luckily, they don't have a decision to make, right? You can tag him twice and deal with it down
He's
the road.
going to be a disgruntled player.
Can you be disgruntled with $30 million in the bank? I guess you can. I couldn't, but he probably
he's playing. Same thing happened with Des Bryant. He was unhappy with it because he's playing. If he gets hurt, there's no benefit. There's nothing guaranteed outside of that year.
And that's the thing. How do I word this? Like, I'm never going to be mad at a player for wanting his money, because the reality is every dollar he doesn't get goes back into the pockets of a billionaire, right?
Yeah.
So I'm always advocating for the player, but at some point you got to strike a deal, or you're just going to be disgruntled about it, right? Especially now. Now is the one time in NFL history where the quarterback doesn't have that much leverage. There's 17 of them you can go choose from that would run the offense just as well as he can.
Well, they're super paid. I mean, if you've ever wanted to be a quarterback, now's the time. You know, it used to be like the running back was the main guy, and now theirs have some of the lowest salaries out there.
By the time they get to free agency, their bodies have been abused and worn down, and you know it just doesn't make sense to sign a running back in free agency. See Le'Veon Bell this year. See DeMarco Murray. You can't take that kind of punishment at that age and expect the return to be there. It's just not.
I didn't have this on our segment list, but I want to talk about it.
Oh, great.
What's up with Antonio Brown?
I don't know. It's one of those things that I was always taught at a young age. If you don't have anything positive to say about someone or a situation, just refrain from speaking. So, he's struggling, right? I mean, I don't think it's all his fault.
I don't. That's the thing. I don't either. He didn't used to be like this.
Yeah.
I mean, something happened to Antonio Brown, football related, and it's probably that Burkett hit. That's the only. I mean, everybody's tracked it back to. He'd never had issues. That hit happened. If you don't know which one I'm talking about, I believe Burkett was playing for the Bengals, if I'm saying his name right.
Vontaze Burfict.
Yeah, Vontaze Burfict. He's actually suspended indefinitely by the NFL for playing dirty. He basically murdered Antonio Brown on a slant route. I mean, and it was as dirty as it gets. And everything points back to that play, and then now his erratic behavior. I mean, he was in Longview, Texas. He came for Trenton Williams' celebrity basketball game in Longview, and he just looks crazy. Yeah. I mean, like just looking at his pupils, he looks crazy. But if you look at his rookie photo, he doesn't look like that. Yeah. Like, I mean, he literally, it's just like he's gone nuts.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
I had no idea you were going to talk about Antonio Brown, but ironically, this is the only NFL player I've ever just stumbled across in public.
I mean, you've lived in downtown Pittsburgh.
I was in Pittsburgh at a coffee shop one day, and he was sitting next to me. I did a double take. I was like, holy, that's Antonio Brown. I said, hey, no one's going to believe me unless I Snapchat this. He said, no, man, no, we're good. I said, all right, fair.
Yeah.
Just walked out.
But he's definitely went off the deep end. You think he gets picked up by anybody ever again?
No.
I don't either. I think he's not worth the risk. He'll be playing. Well, I think he's probably got too much pride to play in the XFL.
Yeah. I mean, he's probably still got the talent to play, but the NFL hasn't even come down with whatever suspensions they're going to be, and it's only going to get worse and worse and worse from here.
With the police department where he's at, no longer wanting to be affiliated with him, not allowing him to use their weight room and facilities. It's not a good look for him.
And looking back, it looks like Mike Tomlin may be the greatest NFL coach in history, right? We didn't see any of this while he was there.
Yeah.
Same dude, right? So he should get a lot of credit for that.
Man. I like Mike Tomlin a lot. Pittsburgh has the formula on coaches. I mean, that's for sure. And,
I was secretly hoping
once they hire them, they stick with them.
I was hoping they would overreact and fire Tomlin, so Dallas he'd be on the Cowboys' radar. They're too smart for that, though.
We'll talk Dallas later on this week. Let me give you a few things. If you follow NASCAR or you don't follow NASCAR, you probably saw the Ryan Newman crash at the Daytona 500 on the last lap, and it was one of the worst ones I've seen, I think, since late 90s with Dale Earnhardt Jr. crashing at Talladega. If you didn't watch it, you can YouTube it, but he was tumbling upside down and get his basically where he sits, driver's side roof, was hit by another car going a couple 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
He had to be extracted from the vehicle. I honestly thought he probably wouldn't get through that.
I hate to admit this, but I'm probably not the only one in this camp. I only watch NASCAR for that, right?
I watch NASCAR for wrecks.
And then when it actually happened, it looked as bad as it did. I felt terrible. Yeah. I'm never doing it again. So I thought the guy was going to perish, but I'm glad to hear he's alive and going to make it.
All the signs were there. We knew he was seriously injured, but when you saw the replay and saw exactly where his car got hit, man, NASCAR.
I know nothing about the physics of it, but his car had to have slowed down to the point where getting hit upside down on the driver's side door at 200 miles an hour.
Man, it was on the driver's side.
Yeah. He did finish fourth, so he didn't lose any real points in the chase.
I don't think he's going to be racing for a while, though. Luckily, he survived. He is, according to news outlets, awake and speaking. We still don't know what his injuries are, but the way they extracted him, they ripped that car apart to get him out, so he obviously couldn't get out himself. So we'll see. But prayers to him and his family. Speedy recovery. Greg Olson's going to the Seahawks.
I saw that. They need a tight end. He's a tight end. He's old, maybe toast, but if Russell Wilson's your quarterback, you can't count anybody out.
Just be like a Jason Witten.
Yeah.
I didn't realize this till somebody told me today. Baylor's Baylor men's the number one ranked team in the country on their 23rd straight win the other night.
Yeah, if you're wanting to watch a college basketball game, this Saturday they're playing Kansas, number 3. It's basically for the Big 12. Tune in. It's going to be a really good basketball game. Baylor went into Kansas and beat them a couple weeks back. First time they lost at home in the Big 12 in a really long time.
Baylor girls ranked number 2, which we're used to that. I just wasn't used to seeing Baylor. Boy, every time I'd seen it, I would assume they were talking about the women's team.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, all right, well, that's going to be it for us today. Thanks for watching. If you have anything you'd like to cover next episode in the comments, put them down there. We'll get you. We are out.